Modular home company Boxabl has been creating a ton of buzz online over their small foldable homes that can be stacked and configured to create a whole host of building types. Earlier this year, I attended the International Builders Show in Vegas, where I got to see both the Boxabl Casita in person for the very first time, as well as the two-story Boxabl model being showcased at the event. During my time in Vegas, I knew I had to visit the Boxabl factories as well, and this video will make you feel like you're right there in Vegas with me. We'll explore Factory 1, newly acquired Factory 2, and take a full tour of the on-site Casita model. I'll be asking important questions throughout our tours, including when we can expect to receive our Casita that we got on the waitlist for in August of 2021, what orders Boxabl is currently working on, and so much more. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, we are pulling up on the Boxabl factory. What's cool about Boxabl is that they offer these factory tours to absolutely anyone that is interested. What you'll see here in our tour is exactly what anyone else coming into the factory would have been able to experience upon requesting a factory tour. Our first step was to put on some super cool Boxabl branded PPE, and then we were ready to hop into the golf cart with our tour guide Louise. So, are you ready to come inside with us?
Welcome to Factory 1. So this factory is 170,000 square feet, just about 4 acres big. We moved into this factory last year in July and started production in September. Our first project was for the government. They ordered 156 units and we fulfilled that back in May.
You'll have to forgive me for the construction noise in these clips, but if anything, I take that as a really positive sign that homes are being diligently worked on over at Boxabl. In addition to walking us through the production line, Louise provided us with some insight regarding future Boxabl Factory number 3.
We are looking for the land right now to build our multi-million-dollar factory that is going to be about 10 to 20 times bigger than this one. About 1 million or 2 million square feet. In that factory, we hope to be able to have customization options as well as maybe build larger units such as 20 by 30s and 20 by 40s. Our production goal in this factory is to be able to produce about 3,600 Casitas a year. That breaks down to about 10 per day, one every 90 minutes. We just ordered about $15 million worth of automation equipment that's scheduled to get here within the next several months, and that'll really help us get to that 3,600 goal, if not double or triple that.
New equipment, larger units, and quicker production is all said to be on the horizon for Boxabl.
And so right here to the left is the start of your production line. It starts with stage 1, it goes all the way to stage 6, and then you got lamination, power, and assembly in between.
So as Louise said, the process basically goes from material prep in stage 1 to lamination, paint, power, and assembly before a Casita home reaches completion. You can see some of the materials here in this shot. The Casita is made of galvanized steel on the exterior, polystyrene foam in the middle, which acts as a sort of insulation, and magnesium oxide for the interior.
For the inside, we use MgO or magnesium oxide. It's very similar to sheetrock or drywall. If you want to feel that material, this is what it feels like. That material is wind, water, mold, fire, and insect resistant, as well as it holds up to 90 pounds per square inch, so you're still able to mount your TVs, picture frames, wall decor, just like normal.
Louise described the perimeter of the Casita panels as a sort of picture frame, made with laminated engineered wood and PVC. This lumber frame isn't structural, but it does serve an important purpose as material to grab onto with screws when Boxabl connects panels to panels. Boxabl does laminate their own panels in-house and hopes to actually mine for raw materials in the future as well.
And this is where they're going to start creating that perimeter with that material, and then gathering the rest of the materials that they need to be able to construct each panel. They'll bring it down here to what I like to call our 1.5 stage. In that elevated storage tank is a polymer-based glue that we use to be able to bond our materials together. Our workers right here are going to lay down that first layer of material. Those two machines with the black and yellow tape will then go down depositing layers of glue. We'll add that second layer of material, another layer of glue, another layer of material, and so on and so forth until the panel is complete. We'll bring it over here to our second stage. The left are similar to a vacuum sealed bag, only they are a press. They will apply 72 tons of pressure onto our panels, ensuring that glue we lay down is evenly distributed, giving us that nice puppet feel we're looking for. They'll bring it out onto this white tilt table once that's complete.
This panel right in front of us is actually a floor panel, and what's really important about it is the structural I-beam installed in the center, which allows the panel to fold.
Over here to the left is our mudding and sanding booth. That is where they're going to make sure all your panels are nice and smooth and seamless. This is where they're going to paint your Casita this nice white on the inside. Since we have zero customization options for the time being, any customization would have to be done when you guys receive your actual unit. Once the painting is complete, they'll take it over to our what would be 4-stage power, and they'll start running all that electrical through the walls, start doing all the cutouts for the electrical outlets as well, installing those. And since our installation is pre-cut for us, it allows us to complete this stage fairly quickly. We'll send it over to our assembly stage. And this is where they're going to start adding all those finishing details to make your Casita moving ready, connecting all your panels, installing all your cabinetry, appliances, finishing up your plumbing. You can see the exposed Casitas to the left. To the left is going to be your bathroom, the right is your kitchen. Above your kitchen window cutout is a main switch. We use that for your heating and your cooling. We did go with the 30-gallon tank water here for this specific project. This generation. For the next generation, we're still debating whether we're going to continue with the 30-gallon or go tankless. You can see right over here that they're installing what would be your living room and your bedroom panel, and that is the side that pulls up.
The magic of these Casitas, as many of you already know, is the fact that a 20x20 unit can be folded into a fairly easily transportable size of 8.5 feet wide and 12 feet tall. This size is important because, as Louise told us, anything wider than 8.5 feet would require a wide load shipping permit, which comes with additional costs and fees.
So you can see the Casitas in their 20x20 dimension right over here in those final stages where they would do those last minute installation, exterior, interior inspection. So we have about 150,000 people on our wait list right now, 150,000 plus on our wait list. So right now we're just accepting reservations for the time being. We are working diligently to start producing for that wait list that we have. And so we're gonna get approval to sell these to Arizona first, California second, and Nevada third. And then we'll kind of expand across the US from there. So this is the finished unit. We'll wrap it in this adhesive that we use to protect it during shipping. Add our logo on it, and then for that current project that we're doing right now, we're just sticking them here out back.
As we were en route to Factory 2, I asked Louise a couple important questions that you will definitely want to hear the answers to. First, we briefly discussed a large new order of Casitas that Boxabl is fulfilling for a mining company in Arizona. This order is actually a higher quantity than their first order for the US government was. You mentioned another project you guys are currently working on. Could you run over that again? You mentioned it towards the beginning.
So we did one project, that's for our first project for the government, and those went for military base housing. That's how we started off. We fulfilled that in May. Now we're working on a project that's for a mining company that's based out of Baghdad, Arizona, and they're going to use them for employee housing. So they have a really bad shortage of housing over there that they need. So that's what we're fulfilling for at the moment.
I see. Is that a large order comparable to kind of the one that you guys did for the military, or is that on a smaller scale?
Nope, it's about the same.
Okay.
I would say maybe roughly about 30 to 35 units more, but that's just kind of what they've requested right now. We might fulfill more in the future, but they're at about 200 right now. And then I'm going to take you guys over here. This is going to be our second factory. So this new development just opened up recently. And we just did the ribbon cutting for our factory about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And they're just moving a lot of racking and shelving in there right now, finishing up those last minute details so we can actually officially move in there.
And the third factory that you were talking about, the multi-million-dollar factory that's going to be on like 1 million acres, is that also going to be in Nevada?
Yes, it's probably going to be no more than about 10 to 15 minutes from here. Being that this first factory is our headquarters, we don't want to split everybody out too far. Of
course, I also had to ask about our deposit for a Casita to try and get an idea of when we might be able to receive our unit. Specifically on my videos, people know that we've placed a deposit on a Casita, and they're always curious for updates, and I knew that when I put the deposit down it was probably going to be a few years, considering the huge demand and the fact that there's only a couple factories. But is there any sort of tentative idea of when folks on the wait list are going to be able to anticipate their casitas?
So right now we can't give any specific timelines, just because we're getting approved on a state level to be able to sell these, and we have to get that approval individually. So like I said, we're actively working on that right now in Arizona, which we're hoping to fulfill by the end of the year and start selling to our general public customers, and then we'll work our way into California and Nevada after that. So I'm assuming, maybe just to give you a ballpark answer, within the next year and a half, 2, we'll at least be in those first 3 states. And we'll reach out to our customers in those states.
Okay, so it's not really when you put your deposit down, a lot of it has to do with the state that you live in?
Correct.
Okay, so like for us in Oregon, it might be a little bit longer for people that live in Nevada than people that live in Nevada and Arizona.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And for that approval, is that just to make sure that the casita meets building codes and standards in that particular state?
A lot of it has to do with that, yep. And then as well as making sure, we get that approval, to that state license that we actually need to be able to sell these to the general public.
Alright guys, we are at Boxabl Factory 2. It's huge. It's not operational yet. They just recently purchased it and are trying to get it up and running, but I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like from the outside and then walk right on in and see it from the inside. This factory is 130,000 square feet, which sounds enormous. It sounds so huge, and when I walked in here, it felt bigger to me than the previous factory, but in reality, because it's still very, very empty and there's no production going on, it feels really big, but once they start actually getting the operation going, it's gonna get cramped really, really quickly. So what we've been told over here at Boxabl is that they're working on a huge multi-million-dollar factory to be their next project, which hopefully will be able to allow them to crank out the homes a lot faster and is gonna give them the space that they need to really fulfill that waitlist demand. Another really interesting thing that I learned today, and this is probably self-explanatory, but I did want to mention it, is that with the 2 factories, once Factory 2 is operational, they'll be able to distribute a lot of the production between the 2 factories. So right now they're producing 2 homes at a time on the assembly line that they've got in Factory 1, but once they've got this factory up and running, they should be able to produce 8 to 10 homes at a time.
I do know that this is going to be the back of the factory essentially, so that's probably why they've added those bathrooms there, and then that little cutout section right there is going to be the main office to where you guys walk in. It'll be a little bit smaller in here just because we're not going to have a lot of employees over here. I mean, as far as like office wise, it's going to be more factory workers if you have anything.
So then hopefully the space will be able to be utilized even more than the previous one because of less office space. Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is, if I understood correctly, where they're going to do a lot of the free work and then move it over there to the factory. So in the Factory 1, essentially all we have to do is everything will be ready for us. We just have to assemble it. It'll just be like a huge assembly line.
So the configuration of the previous factory will change once this one is fully operational.
So within the next couple of months, the Factory 1's going to be completely different. So now we're on the complete opposite side, but we're facing the highway right now, and then Factory 1 is just on the other side of this building.
Oh, very nice. Pretty quick access from that factory.
No more than a 5-minute walk and a 5-minute golf cart ride. Okay. That's what we do. We have golf carts and scooters and electric bikes. So
I've noticed that,
the commute over here is not going to be hard for anybody.
Alright, now that we have seen Factory 1 and Factory 2, we are here at the Boxabl Casita model that's on site. If you're actually here in Vegas and you want to tour the factories, this Casita is right out front and you're welcome to come in and look at it, which is wonderful. It's so great to actually be able to, like I've said many times before, see and feel a product. It's great and really refreshing to have a company that doesn't just have renderings of their product, but they're actually showing it and it's available to the public to view. So if you follow me, we're gonna take a quick tour. Ta-da! Oh, it's even better than I imagined it. Come in, come in. I wanted to mention that the side that my wonderful cameraman is on is the side that's gonna fold up. So that's the side that has the bed, this middle chest piece right here with the TV, the couch. All of this does not come with the home. Now, This middle chest piece you can order and it does ship separately, but it doesn't come with your Casita purchase. So again, this is the side that folds up. This is the living room. You've got a really, really cool setup here. I'm gonna just like give you kind of an idea. I'm gonna get comfy on this couch. It's really nice. Like for 1 to 2 people, this home is really, really comfortable. As I have mentioned at IBS when I was looking at the Casita model, the ceilings are so high. Like for me, like a short person, it feels really great, but I feel like if you're a little taller, you'll really appreciate it. So very, very nice. Let's move on to the bedroom really quick. So as you've seen, this TV swivels. Now you shouldn't be watching TV in bed because that's bad for you, but if you want to, you can. So the TV swivels over here, and this is the bed, and it's made so perfectly that I like feel bad sitting on it, but I will, just to give you an idea. This is a queen size bed, if I'm not mistaken, which is the exact size of bed that I have at home, so it's pretty large, very comfortable. If you get this chest piece, I feel like it's a really good purchase because you have a lot of cabinet space here, and a lot of people in the comments of my videos were concerned about storage space, and I get it. If you have quite a few things, you know, I feel like I would even have trouble fitting my stuff in here, but if you were wanting to live a more minimalist lifestyle, you could definitely do that, and you would fit things here pretty comfortably. Let's move on to the kitchen. Now, this is the side that has a lot of the things that come with the Casita. Again, another question that I got a lot. All of the appliances come with the Casita, and all of the appliances are full size. And if we can just take a moment for this beautiful fridge. It's huge, which is great if you like to eat, which I do. Oh, it has fake food in here. Nobody told me about this. Oh, I love this. Can we just like take a moment? Because this is obviously empty. Look at that. It has fake food. I am obsessed with this. Look at this. I'm obsessed. Okay. Anyways, it's actually like working right now. It's cold. You gotta keep the fake food very well refrigerated. Okay, so refrigerator, microwave, stovetop, and oven for those that don't know what appliances are. You've got a really nice sink here, you guys. This is way nicer than a lot of the apartments that I've seen like in the area where we live. Starting with this sink, like this is a fantastic sink. If you can, I don't know if this matters to a lot of people, but this is a very spacious sink. Very, very nice. And a pretty good amount of counter space, I would say, and a good amount of cabinets as well. If you just take a look, I feel like this is pretty on par with a standard single family home. There's quite a few cabinets in here, which is awesome. You've got your seating area here. It's kind of like a bar. You've got 2 chairs on either side. Very comfortable, honestly, plenty of space to eat, which is great. Over here, this also comes with the purchase. This is a combo washer and dryer. I can't personally testify to how these things work because I have never ever used one, but I initially thought that over here was going to be a stackable washer dryer situation, but because it's a combo, it takes up less space, which is great. Now let's move on into the bathroom. The branding is going strong in here with the towels and all the other things that they've got in here. But they've got this gorgeous mirror here, this light up mirror, a little bowl sink right here. Again, a really nice amount of counter space and cabinet space. This is where your toilet would go, obviously. Pretty good amount of space. Like it's, I don't know, for me, I feel like it's very comfortable. And I'm gonna stand in the shower for you. Something that we learned at IBS yesterday is that these showers are actually custom made by Boxabls. As you can see, they've got their logo right here, the little house. So these, if I'm remembering correctly, cost them about $400 to make. So it's saving them money in terms of creating this shower space, and it also looks really, really awesome. And like I said, these high ceilings are really coming in right here. Like I feel like this is a very nice, spacious shower. So that is awesome. It definitely, obviously we know that it's a tiny home, it's 375 square feet, but it feels great. It doesn't feel cramped. Again, once you have like your things in here and you're all moved in, it might be a little bit smaller, might feel a little bit smaller, but I think overall with all the furniture in here, it feels pretty comfortable. It feels really nice. All right, about 100 feet away from the Boxabl Casita model that they've got on site here is a few other model homes. There's nothing going on inside of them, so we're not going to be going inside, but this just shows you what's actually possible. The Boxabl Casita is really just a base sort of unit, but you can create a lot of different facades with the technology that Boxabl has come up with. Something that I was really excited to share with you is that as Boxabl is playing around with all of these different concepts and aesthetics for these homes, they are actually going to be, once these are all up and ready and functional, they're going to be renting these out as Airbnbs so that prospective customers can actually live in these homes for a little while. It's going to have all of the utilities connected and everything, so it's actually going to give you a real feel of what it's going to be like to live in a home created by Boxabl. I think that that is such a great idea. I mean, it's genius because it actually gives you an idea of what it's going to be like to live in one of these homes. It's almost like a trial run before you buy the actual thing. And again, Boxabl just keeps innovating and just keeps coming up with all of these things that I don't see any other companies doing, which is why I think they're getting so big and they're attracting a lot of attention, because they're offering services that other people just simply don't. Even after consuming tons of Boxabl related content online and making many videos about the company myself, I learned lots of new information during my time at the factories. I was definitely a bit saddened to hear that the homes need to be licensed in each individual state, because that does create a far longer wait time than I originally anticipated. I do hope that the company succeeds in implementing a Boxabl modular code at the federal level, as mentioned by Paolo in my interview with him, but even if that happens, I still don't envision receiving our Casita in the next year or two. I think it will definitely be longer than that. I do hope Boxabl is able to overcome the hurdles they are running into, because I truly believe they have a very cool and innovative product that has the potential to become the future of housing. I am very grateful to have had the opportunity to see the operation for myself and have all my questions answered. If you live in or find yourself near Las Vegas, Nevada, definitely make a stop at the Boxabl factories if you want to learn more about the homes. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming along on this tour with me of both of the Boxabl factories and the famous Boxabl Casita. I hope that you enjoyed it, but I will say bye to you for now and see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!